If you've ever tried to embroider a belt, a pet collar, a sash, anything long and skinny, you already know. Regular hoops were not built for this. You're either fighting to get it to sit still, or you get in there and the letters come out wavy because the thing shifted halfway through the design. Now, folks in the embroidery groups are calling this a pain, charging extra just because of how annoying it is. And honestly, I get it now that I've tried it myself. So today I decided to test something built specifically for this problem. And we'll see how it actually holds up. Friend, welcome back. If you're new here, I run an embroidery business from home. I'm building this out in real time, and I test out the tools so you don't have to guess. No guru stuff, just what actually works. And for today's project, I've got some canvas webbing here that I want to embroider. And I'm using it as an excuse to put the SEWTECH belt hoop through its paces. Now, full transparency, SEWTECH sent this to me to try out, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think, the good and the bad. And here's what the problem is. A standard hoop clamps fabric from the outside in, and that works great on a t-shirt or a tote bag. But something that's narrow, like this webbing that I'm using, or a belt or whatever, there's not much for the hoop to grab. It can slide and shift in the hoop, or you end up taping and pinning and praying. And even if you get it to hold, keeping it straight is its own fight. One side pulls tighter than the other, and now your lettering is leaning. This is where the belt hoop comes in. Instead of clamping fabric from the outside, it uses metal clamp bars that grip the material directly. So instead of fighting the shape of the item, it's built around it. Now, a quick rundown of what you get in the box. You get the main frame, a metal bracket pair, mounting screws, and a screwdriver. And the assembly is pretty straightforward. The bracket goes on with the included screws, so you don't need any extra tools, and it took me about 5 minutes. Now, before we get into using it, let me show you exactly where I got this and a few things worth knowing before you order, because there's one step here that's easy to mess up. So this is the SEWTECH website, and this is the actual page for the belt hoop that I've got. I'll drop the link below so you don't have to go hunting. And here's the thing that trips people up. So I want to walk you through it. SEWTECH makes this hoop for a huge range of machines, which is great, but it means you have to know your exact model before you check out. Not just, I've got a Ricoma. You need to know the actual model number of your machine. If you scroll down, they've actually got a facts section right on the page, and it answers a lot of what I would have asked myself. So let's go through a few of them. First off, what can you actually embroider with this thing? Basically anything long and narrow. Karate and martial arts belts, pet collars, leash straps, name tapes, sashes, ribbons, lanyards, bag straps. If it's skinny and regular hoops hate it, then this is probably built for it. Secondly, they sell it in two sizes. They have the BH200 and the BH300. And the difference is just the frame length, 200 millimeters versus 300. So it comes down to how long your design is. If you're doing short names or initials, you probably don't need the bigger one. But if you're doing longer text or a full dojo name, then you'll want the 300, which is the one I'm using today. Now, the third is actually a good question. How's this different from a magnetic hoop? Magnetic hoops use magnets to hold the fabric down, but this is actually using a metal clamp bar to grip narrow material, which is why it works for things that a magnet just can't hold on to, like a belt or a strap. They also address thick materials and leather directly. And basically, it can handle webbing, ribbon, light to medium leather. So test your specific material before you run a full batch. And you might be wondering if it'll leave marks on your material too. They say that the clamp bars are smooth and designed to minimize that. And I'd actually agree with that. But if you're working with something glossy or delicate, then put a thin layer of protection between the material and the clamp, and you'll be fine, I think. So now you'll see me feeding the material through the two clamp bars and using the positioning marks to center it, then tightening it down. And this is the moment of truth, because remember, the whole complaint online was that it won't stay put. But with this, it does. Now, you probably don't need to use stabilizer with this setup because of the way it grips the fabric, but I decided to put a little bit of sticky back stabilizer on there just in case. And so because this hoop is an extra one for my machine, I had to use the extra kind of hoops section, and I just eyeballed it to get it in the center of the item, which turned out to be a little bit tricky. All right, so we're all finished, and let's talk about what I'm seeing here. So the lettering is straight, no leaning, no drift or anything like that, no puckering along the edges, which honestly is your biggest worry going in. And since I'm using the canvas webbing, there's no hoop marks on the material itself, so that's not a problem. So now let's talk about the real nitty-gritty, because a tool is only as good as what it lets you sell. And this one hoop opens up a whole list of stuff that people are actively looking to have embroidered. We're talking karate and jiu-jitsu belts for dojo parents, pet collars for the safety and cute parents, graduation sashes every spring, bag and camera straps, uniform name tapes, luggage tags. All of that lives in the same long and narrow category that regular hoops will fight you on. And because this thing sets up fast once you know your material, it changes the math on pricing something that used to be a pain to make. If it used to take you 3 tries to get a belt centered, and now it takes 1, that's real time back, and that's more dollars in your pocket. So overall, if you've been avoiding belt and strap orders because hooping them is a nightmare, this solves that actual problem, not just the marketing problem. Just double check your machine model before you order, and I'll leave the link below. If you've made belts, collars, or sashes before, I want to know your hooping horror story. Drop it in the comments. I'll read every one. And if you're looking for a way to finally take on narrow item orders without the stress, this is a really solid option. So, final thoughts. I think this is a really useful tool. I could see this being used for not only the wristlet, but like karate belts, graduation sashes, bridal bachelorette sashes, ribbon, name tags, luggage tags. If you wanted to make your own luggage tags. Basically anything that was long and narrow. These little grippers here are really easy to get on and off and use. And they clamp the item really tightly. They grip it really tightly, so I don't have any issue with it slipping. You did see that I put on that additional sticky back stabilizer just to give it some added support. I'm not sure, depending on the fabric that you're using, you probably don't even need that. Like say if you were doing a belt or something, you probably wouldn't even need to use stabilizer at all. I just added it for reinforcement for the little canvas welting, is that what it's called? canvas braid, I don't know, but I just use that for extra added support. But depending on what you're using it for, you may not need the extra stabilizer at all. But that little bit of added support made sure that it did not slip. I didn't have to use any extra pins or anything, so I thought that was helpful. And I also like the fact that it has the measurements on here. They're actually on both sides, which is really useful because if you have that long narrow strip, you want to make sure that it's going straight across. You don't want it to be slanted at any point when you're hooping, so that's really helpful. The only thing that would be my con is that it was a little bit tricky because this is not a standard hoop that comes on the machine. But it is very similar, as you saw, I showed you earlier. It's very similar in size to, I believe, the 8.5 by 11. Let me see. It's very similar in size to the 8 by 13 Mighty Hoop. So because I already had the 8 by 13 Mighty Hoop loaded in my machine, I just picked that one as the hoop. And then I traced it to make sure that it was within the area of where my piece was. Now that part did get to be tricky. As you can see, it still is not perfectly centered. So I had to play around with that quite a bit to try to get it, to make sure that it was within this area. And you see, I still have a little more work to do. So that might be your only sticking point, is dialing in that center registration really good. But the item itself, I definitely give it a thumbs up because I could see myself using this when graduation season is coming back around and doing a lot of sashes with this. So definitely a good investment. Anywho, I hope this has been helpful. If it is, go ahead and give it a like. And until next time, check out this video that YouTube thinks you should watch next. Bye-bye.